so we are picking up right where we left off, boys. You have officially made it into Silberg. There was almost a beastman attack, a few more bad rolls, and somebody may have gotten eaten or possibly murdered.
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah.
That's always that possibility, or both. Now that you guys are inside the town, I'll describe it a little bit better. I kind of already said about the neighboring houses as you're coming through this cobblestone path, which seems to be getting even more and more refined the deeper into town you get. These stones are starting to be more close set and more smooth the further you get towards the what Marius knows to be the mine. Now, are you guys still continuing towards Old Man Otto?
Yes.
Okay. So you see Otto. It's like, Marius, this way! Bring Masuna.
All right, and I'm just kind of running back, as fast as I can,
Okay. I'm assuming Seamus and Ketch, you guys keeping up with him?
Yeah, in the meantime, I'm shouting for a doctor or a medic.
Okay. So you're shouting for a doctor. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
We're concerned about the woman and her daughter and all, but we really need to get that arrow out your back.
So as you're approaching Old Man Otto, Ketch and Seamus, this is the first time you've seen him up close. Seamus, you recognize him. He's human. He's a decent height. He's actually almost as tall as you, Seamus, which is rare for these parts. He's got blue eyes. He's definitely older, probably in his 40s, which is very old, and Warhammer. So he has a light brown graying hair. He's definitely got some worn out looking equipment. It's seen some use, though his weapons seem to be very well maintained. And he has a red kind of tattered cloak kind of strewn across his shoulders, as well as a military style helmet kind of strapped to his head. But it's an older style. It's not some of the more modern takes. He also looks to be wearing mail underneath his clothes. You can definitely see mail, as well as possibly some leather of some kind. So he's beckoning to you guys, this way. And there's a couple people with him. They look to be possibly miners. Marius, you would recognize them. Just some of the average miners that have you've actually seen these guys in town. They're not some of the fresher faces. You don't know any of them by name, perchance, but you at least recognize them. Seamus, most of the people here are just you've never seen them before. It's very unnerving because the town looks the same as when you left it, minus the wall, and the people here are just all new. Okay. So, Otto is beckoning for you guys, and he makes an about face. He's like, this way. They've been testing us. And as you guys follow, I'm assuming you're still following?
Yeah, still following.
Okay. He leads you deeper into town. So now the houses are starting to get a little more closer together, and they look like they're starting to get, some of them are 2 stories tall. Some of them have some rather thick-looking doors about them. They're starting to get a little bit more elegant, a little bit more structurally intact than the houses you've passed before, as well as pieces of them being built out of stone. Specifically, parts from the bottom, looks like probably the footing, the lower half of the walls, seem to be some kind of cobbled together stone, which is also very unusual for most towns you've ever been in, Mr. Catch, which most places are built from wood, with the exception of the more industrial places, like the city you hail from.
Right.
So you're going deeper and deeper, and he seems to be leading you towards the center of town. So you're getting further and further into town, and you're starting to notice that there's more and more people just kind of lounging about. It looks like a lot of people are wounded. Marius, you notice that there's not even half of the people in town that you normally see. And I'm not talking about just people you know. I mean just normal people out and about.
Mm-hmm.
Either they're inside or they're no longer here.
Okay.
It's there's enough people missing for you to notice, essentially. Yeah. There's lots of people bandaged, heavily bandaged, and it looks like there's several dead bodies leaning against houses. Possibly dead, maybe not dead. You'd have to go look at them. You're in a bit of a hurry, so you're not seeing as much as you could be seeing.
Yeah.
So you're getting further and further into town, and as you approach the center of town where the mine opens up further back, it opens up into a almost round kind of marketplace. And there are stalls set up where people can sell food and merchandise and things like that. But there are large, more intricate and massive buildings that decorate the area. The stalls are, for the most part, empty. There's nobody manning them. It looks like they've been cleaned out of all their wares and food. Normally, this is a decent marketplace for as small of a town as this is. It's still a good trading town, and you do get you get travelers here. Not too many, but a lot of families live here. So there's usually fresh food, things of that sort. None of that is in the space at the moment. Okay. So as you reach the essentially town square or town circle, whatever you want to call it, the cobblestones go even further straight ahead, and they go into what would be the mine. Marius, off to your right, the buildings in this area are usually 2 stories tall now, 2 to 3 stories actually. The largest one to your right is the governor's house. It is carved completely from rock. It almost looks like it has been here for a very long time. There are large chunks of stone that have been, appears to be displaced from the wall to make room for some kind of stained glass, which glass is very expensive and very rare. So you get the idea that the governor's house has been modified to make room for these artistic purposes, as well as there's almost a kind of Estalian-esque garden that has been kind of cultivated in front to make it look a little bit more fancy. There used to be stone doors decorating this building that you would know of, Seamus. They're no longer there. They've been removed, and some more elegantly carved lacquered wooden doors are in their place, and the stamp of the Silberg Mining Company has been placed on each door. The structure across from it, on the other side, which is the one you guys are actually making your way towards, is much less ostentatious. It's still equally large. It is completely also built from stone. It does have a few panes of glass, but they are not very decorative, and they have been placed in what looks to be, they're very high, and it looks like they might have been slits for someone or something to use as arrow defense, almost like a watchtower of some kind. Though, for it to be a watchtower, it's awfully low to the ground. The stone door has been also removed, Seamus, that you would know of. It's not there anymore. And there is, in its place, a nice piece of wood, and not as gaudy as the door to the governor's place, but there's a large golden hammer that's been placed above the door, and there's the symbol of the twin-tailed comet has been engraved into the door itself. Now, for those of you that don't know, the twin-tailed comet and the hammer, Galmaraz, are the symbols of the Church of Sigmar. So this, you all would know that and recognize it. You would know that this is definitely going to be the chapter house of the Church of Sigmar in Silberg. Now, Seamus, this was not here. None of this was here. The church was not present when you were in this town last.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody want to still take a look around, or are you just following him straight in?
Are we going inside the church?
He is leading you to the church. He's like, Master Marius, come, this way, quick.
Yeah, I'm following Marius, so. Yep.
Yeah, since this is familiar to me,
Yeah,
I would probably
it's not. It's concerning the lack of people and almost the somber atmosphere. But other than that, it's nothing else looks very different from what you remember.
Okay. Yeah. No, I would just realize it's probably because of the battles that has taken place or something.
Yeah. So you're as you're making your way in the church, I'll just describe a couple more buildings around there. The more important ones, we're not going to get too crazy into it. So it is important to note that the governor's mansion and the Church of Sigmar are actually partially attached into the actual base of the mountain. So it kind of curves out, and the square or circle, the edge of the circle that's closest to the mine, is actually been hewed from the mountain. Someone or something, whoever built this place, carved it into the actual mountain itself. So these are still attached. Now, there are a few more larger buildings nearby that are not attached, but still made of stone and look to be of a similar age, though possibly not of as good quality. And Marius, you would know that these were barracks that have been set up for the miners, especially those that don't have any families. They're very practical. There's really no markings outside of the Silberg mine stamp on the doors. And then, of course, off in the distance, you can see the entrance to the mine itself, which is very large and foreboding, which all of you would have been able to see this entire way walking up to there. It is 2 stone doors, though only one remains. The one that's still there has been cracked by some impossible force. The doors themselves are probably about 30 feet tall and about 20 foot wide. And Marius, you would know that they're at least 4 feet thick. So they are impressive make. Now, the missing door, or what left of it, is laying in ruins upon the mining floor on the inside. And it looks like pieces of it have been removed and probably repurposed throughout the town and in the mine. So without out of the way, let's delve into the Church of Sigmar. So Old Man Otto holds the door open. It's a double door, so he kind of presses his way in, and he's like, Father, we need you again. And a man approaches. He kind of shoots up. He's like, by the gods, Otto, no more. This is not a temple of Shalia. And Otto's kind of just looks at him bewildered. He's like, but Father. And the man you know of as Father Lichter kind of shakes his head, Marius, and he, well, who is this then? And he kind of looks up. He says, Marius, is that you?
Yeah. Yes, Father. Go ahead.
And now that you guys can see him, he's wearing some very plain clothes. He's wearing traditional robes of Sigmar's order. They have the twin-tailed comet across them. They've been embolized with the comet throughout. It's definitely a motif, a theme in this. His hair is balding. He's probably similar to Otto's age. He does have gray eyes and silver hair, and he's also rather tall. He's about 6'3". Now, he's balding on top, but the rest of the hair is kind of short. It's not very long for sure. He keeps it very well manicured. However, he does have a powerful build about him. You get the idea that he may have seen a more active role in the church back in his day. He may have not always just been a priest. At least that's what you've been led to believe, Marius.
Okay.
Now, Seamus, you've never seen this man before. You've never seen any of this, and certainly not you either, Mr. Catch.
Correct.
He also does have a bit of pudge around his midsection. You get the idea that he hasn't probably been keeping up with any of his exercises as much as he used to in his older age. And he also has a large real gold chain around his neck, which is embolized with a massive fist holding a warhammer, representative of the Church of Sigmar. He's like, Marius, my boy, come, you look awful.
I know it is terrible, Father, but first, please see the Miss Suna and the girl here, Abby.
Miss Suna, by the gods. And he motions over. Sarah, come here. Make ready a bed. And Seamus, do you want to go ahead and give me a perception check?
All right. Perception. Ooh, I rolled a 6.
Okay. Oh, you see pretty much everything. All right. Yeah, you do. You see just about everything. So, as you're coming through this door, you see Father Leecher here. The inside of this temple is a very open space. It's very large and open. You used to know it as a place that they used to store grain and various produce back when you remember this as actually a storehouse of some kind. It's been repurposed into a church. There are pews which have been pushed against the far wall, and it looks like not very well made beds or cots have been pulled out, and they decorate all of the floors. Almost every space has been taken up with a bed. There's a small walkway in between them, and it looks like a lot of women are roaming about this area, taking care of the wounded, which there is... This room is probably, I don't know, 200 by 200. It's a very large square room. And it's almost full of people. And there are just wounded men and everything you could think of. Missing arms, people just crying and howling, and people, looks like having seizures in the distance, people running to them. There's mostly women taking care of them. There are a few men. There is also, towards the back of the room, you definitely notice this, that you're not seeing the entire compass of the room. You're not seeing where you would assume there would be some kind of, what do you call that thing? Where they stand up and make speeches.
Yeah, like an altar?
Altar. Jeez. Yeah, there's no altar. It appears to be hidden behind some kind of canvas. There's a canvas draped from the ceiling to the floor. It's obviously canvas, as they're not trying to hide it or anything, but it appears to be separating these men from something on the other side. Now,
are the wounded
go
mostly
ahead.
men?
The wounded are mostly men. There are a few women. And interestingly enough, the women that are wounded are in fact wearing some kind of... It looks like they were attempting in some way to defend themselves. Like they might be wearing a piece of someone's armor, probably not their own, maybe family members or something like that. So they look like they've been doing some active fighting themselves. Now, in addition to this, you also see that some of the wounded men, in particular, are wearing the colors of Wissenland, specifically the branch of the military. So there are actually a large amount of soldiers, professional soldiers, mixed in to this group of people.
Okay.
So, I'm assuming, Marius, you're getting her over to a bed?
Yeah, I'm getting her to a bed.
Okay. So you place Masuna down into the bed, and Father Lichter's come, Sarah, come. And she's running towards him. She's got a almost like a basket full of healing remedies of the time. Nothing that we would consider great medical practices. But she's got a basket of something she's bringing your way. Now, Sarah, as you will remember...
The girl from the tavern?
Say what?
The girl from the tavern?
She is, yes. You would recognize her from the Silver Thaggy, the tavern. She is... What would you say this? She is young. She's probably not much older than Mr. Catch. She wears a tight-fitted corset, very tight-fitted. There might be a little bosom showing, a little bit more than the father would like, which might inflect his tone, the way he speaks to her. But she's definitely probably one of the most attractive women in town, by far. And you have definitely seen her around and possibly more over your time here.
All right. Not just seeing her around, but seeing her around.
Oh, you've definitely spent a few nights possibly with her. I don't know. She has curling blonde hair, very piercing blue eyes, and from personal experience, she has her own room at the Thaggy as part of her stipend of pay. She gets to actually keep a room there, which you have seen. And she spends her nights there for the most part. So we'll leave it at that.
All right.
She's making her way over with her basket, and she's like, oh, by the gods, not more. Has there been another attack? And Otto kind of looks over. He's like, hi, Sarah. Hi. Master Marius. How are you still alive?
I pull out his rusty sword.
Yes.
And I go, because of this, my friend, the sword you gave me proved quite effective in slaying beastmen.
This old thing.
Slayed 3 or 4 with this thing. So
you jest, Marius.
I do not. Do I still have the beastman head slinging across my back?
You do actually still have a rotten beastman head slinging across your back. It's not rotten, but it's just really gross.
Yeah. I point towards the beastman head.
Sigma be praised. And when he says that, Father Lichter kind of looks at him. By Sigma's will, and you get the idea that he's, he knew that he was about to swear. So
yeah.
And Otto kind of looks at you. Well, you can keep the sword. I just honestly, I didn't think you'd make it back. You've been gone for nearly a month.
A month? I just left this morning.
This morning?
Yeah. Remember I told you that we heard a thunderous sound, and I told you it was Sean, next to my tits, is blowing his ass out.
Sean's been missing.
Oh, sorry, Father. Sorry.
And Father Leaker kind of looks at you.
I kind of look down in a little bit of shame.
Okay, good. He seems satisfied with that outcome.
Okay.
Sarah's currently kind of trying to bandage Misuna's leg. I'm assuming Abby's kind of like, mother. And Abby looks okay. And Sarah looks at her, well, who might you be? My name's Abby. And Father Leaker, oh, we have another young one for the flock, I see. And Otto, Caesar, yes. What? I don't understand. Who's the child? And Misuna pipes up. Oh, that's she's my sister's girl. I'm taking over her as her mother.
I look a little shocked because in Marius's mind, he thought she was the mother of Abby. So I look a little confused.
Apparently not.
All right.
Is that it? Is that all you want to do?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say anything.
Okay.
He would be confused though.
Okay. Catch, would you like to say anything? Mr. Catch.
Hello?
There we
Can you
go.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. We just want some rest, some food, and this guy's got an arrow in his back.
Yeah, Seamus is going to interrupt and be
true.
like, signify
And
to get
Otto's
this
like-
fucking arrow out of me back.
And Otto walks up. Oh, I can fix that. And he just grabs a hold of it, and he just yanks it out of your back.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, fucking Sigma.
And you take one wound. The blood begins spurting out of your back. and the father looks at you. You taking his God's name in vain. Son, if I didn't know any better. And he looks at you closely. And he goes, Seamus?
Bloody fucking hell. Bob
Boy, you take that tone again and I will strike you where you stand.
You try walking around with a damn arrow in your back.
Oh, and he starts fidgeting with the ceremonial hammer that's dangling from his hip, which is made from real steel. And he's kind of clutching it. And he's looking at you. He said, "You look awfully familiar, young sir."
Right, I should. I'm from this town.
No, I don't know about that. And at this point, Otto kind of looks at you. God, you do look just like him, though.
Looks like who?
One of the McGreedys.
It's because I fucking am one.
That's impossible, son.
And why is that?
McCready's been gone 5 years now.
Well, you're looking at one directly in front of you.
The last McCready I saw went to war. Recruited by Magnus himself.
Well, this
They never came
McCready's standing
back.
in front of you in this church.
What were you saying?
I was going to tell that he's got a McCready standing in front of him in the church.
Boy, I don't know what sorcery you claim, but there's no way you're McCready.
Who might you be, judging me like this?
If you were McCready, you'd know my name.
This Father think they're talking to me? Or is
This is
Otto?
Otto.
Oh, it's Otto, okay. Well, you look just like Otto.
Aye, but you possibly can't be the MacReady I'm thinking of, Seamus.
Right, well, now, how do you want me to prove it to you?
When you were 6 years old, something happened down by the stream. What was it?
Yeah, I fucking fell in. I don't know how to swim.
And he just kind of looks wide-eyed at you. How is this possible? You haven't aged a day.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
And at this point, Sarah pipes up. Well, if all of you are done now, I'd really like to work on possibly, I don't know, helping the people around here?
A splendid idea. Let's start with the arrow in the back of this gentleman.
Am I still bleeding out?
Oh, it's spurting blood. And she motions for you to. There's an empty bed next to Misuna where you can lay down, and she'll start to try to tend to your wounds.
Nice.
At this point, Father Leachter approaches you, Seamus, as you sit down. Says, "Boy, if you really are MacReady, Otto has told me of your people. They've been gone for quite some time. You owned the place down by the river, the toll?"
Yeah, I do. That was my dad's.
Well, I'm afraid I have bad news for you, son, if you have come from the war. Your mother is still about. She can be found. Well, we'll speak of this matter after you've been patched up. But unfortunately, your younger brother has passed. He went off looking for you, your father, and his twin.
For fuck's sake, what do you mean?
Go ahead.
I was say, well, what do you mean he's passed?
I mean, more has taken him. He graces his gardens.
For fuck's sake.
Tone, boy, tone.
Wasn't the damn beastman, was it?
No, this was 4 years ago. Goblins, I believe.
Oh.
Anyways,
It's a shame.
I'll see to your mother one day. I'll show you where she is. She's still around. I was hoping you would return with your father and brother, if you returned at all. She asks about you.
Alright. So at this point, I'm probably feeling a little lightheaded, maybe pass out.
I'd say that's safe to say.
Okay.
And in that same vein, let's see how Sarah does. Oh, man. She's very good with her hands. Marius can attest to this.
Oh, yeah.
She begins applying bandages. She strips you of your shirt. Your jerkin is off of you. She begins bandaging your wounds, and you heal for 7 wounds.
Oh, shit.
Alright.
Yes. She's a quick study. And she just kind of looks at you. That'll do, love. That'll do. And she kind of just pats you across the cheek. Marius, you're watching this whole exchange happen.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Marius isn't threatened.
Got it.
I'm going to motion it over there.
Okay. She's going to take a look at Mr. Ketch now. and you being of similar age. And who might you be, sir?
Oh, I'm but a simple rat catcher on a grand adventure already with young Marius over there, kind of guiding him and showing him the world.
Oh, I see.
I'm turning on the charm.
Oh, yeah, and she's smirking at you guiding Marius. She smirks a little bit. And
Shows the ways of the world. Saved him more than once already. So.
Oh, I don't doubt it. And she can see the blood trickling from your head. Would you care to have a seat, sir?
Yes, and just so you know that all my stories are true and not the result of a head wound.
Of course, of course. And as you sit down, Father Lichter he's wandered off at this point. He just kind of shook his head. And before he leaves, he does look at Seamus and says, "We'll talk later." Otto's still standing nearby. He's kind of still somewhat in shock about the exchange of words that have just happened. But Sarah looks up at you, Ketch, says, "It's a nasty wound you've got there. How'd you come about it?"
Oh, just saving young Maris over there.
Oh, of course. And this time,
Be my faithful dog.
she does see the puppy. She's like, "Oh, I love dogs." She goes to pet him. Does he bite her?
No, he actually knows a certain hand signal I give around women's. They just turn super cute.
Okay, he just kind of turns on the puppy charm. He's like, He kind of turns the
roll
head
onto
to the side.
Back, showing the belly.
Yes,
You know,
yes, all that. She's enjoying it. And then she goes to bandage your head, and she wraps it tight as hell. It's like almost, it doesn't feel pleasant. It hurts a little bit, honestly. You recover 4 wounds.
4 wounds. Got it.
So it is something, but nothing near what she did earlier. She's like, "Oh, is it too tight, sir?"
Nope, it's good.
It's good. Oh, I'm glad. As expected of such a heroic figure. She'll kind of step away from you, and she meets eyes with Marius. "You have a seat." And she'll motion to a chair nearby.
All right. I sit down.
She sits next to you.
All right.
She said, "What have you done to that beautiful face?" And she kind of wraps her hand around the back of your neck.
Oh, Jesus. And I kind of touch my face, and then kind of look up a little upset, a little angry. Just, my face has been damaged. So I'm still upset about it a little. Question.
Yes.
DM question.
Yes.
The miner who died on the side of the road.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if our audience remembers, I picked up a pick.
You did.
And the first pick I actually picked up had something to the effect of, like, from Sarah on it.
It's something similar.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Something to the effect of, like, it was a gift from someone named Sarah.
Either a gift or inscribed in memory of.
Okay. The person who wielded it, did I recognize him?
You did not recognize him per se.
Okay. So I'll leave that at that.
Are you going to bring it up?
I don't know if Marius would just bring up. Well, does Marius know that if she's part of a relationship? I'm just trying to think if I could deduce it.
To your knowledge, I mean, you're still relatively new in town.
Okay.
You've been here a couple weeks, maybe. She definitely took a liking to you, and you to her. Mm-hmm. It's never been brought up.
Okay. As Jumbo Smooth, I have deduced that I think this person is
Okay.
important to her.
That's fair.
However,
That's fair.
I just don't know if Marius would deduce it, you know?
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
I would say maybe he would at least mention the pick.
Okay.
So I look at Sarah. I go, Sarah, did you ever give a pick to someone?
And she
a nice one inscribed.
She kind of blushes a little bit. Did you meet someone on the road?
I did, and I kind of look sullen. Whoever wielded that pick did not survive the encounter with the beastmen on the road.
She kind of blanks out for a second. He's gone.
I kind of grab her hand, kind of in a consoling manner. He did die trying to defend the caravan, Misuna and Abby.
Well, at least he died well. And she'll kind of look at you. And you can see there's tears kind of starting to well up a little bit, but she kind of wipes them away real quick. And she's looking over your face, and she's, well, we best tend to these wounds. And she begins daubing them with some kind of urgent. She dips some gauze in and starts dabbing the wounds on the side of your head, and it stings really bad. Yeah. And you recover 3 wounds.
3 wounds.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's it. She's a little
back to full health.
She's a little distracted after what you've told her, and
All right.
you don't get as much healing done apparently.
It's good enough. Good enough.
Good enough. Okay. With that being said, she kind of looks at you, and I can't believe you made it here, Marius. I honestly, a month's passed. I never thought you'd come back.
I look at her. Did you forget about me?
And she kind of coyly clutches the legs together a little bit, kind of squeezes them. Of course not.
I gave her a rakish grin. And I was like, go help some others that need your help more than me.
Of course. If you need a place to stay tonight. And she just leaves it at that as she walks off.
I just give her a nod.
Got it. She walks off to go tend to some other wounded. Now, Otto is kind of, he kind of shakes his head a little bit. He's kind of out of his stupor. Father Lichter has also wandered off. He's still tending to more wounded. He seems a little pissed off, and just in his demeanor. Marius, you would especially notice this, having met him several times. He looks very upset that his house is full of wounded people. That he just looks really pissed off about it. He's stomping around. He's kind of pushing things around. When he's attending to people, it's violently, and it's almost like something you'd see on a battlefield, like a battlefield surgeon.
Yeah.
You get the idea that he's not a trained healer. It's just something he might have picked up. So, yeah, you probably don't want to be tended to by Father Lichter if you get from what you're seeing right here.
Yeah.
Now, Seamus, you rolled so high on your perception check. Even with you laying down in bed, you kind of look over and you notice that there has been a figure leaning close to the entrance where you guys came through, completely bandaged from head to toe. They're kind of slumped up against the wall, and you can see that they're looking in your direction. And not only are they bandaged, but they're wearing a cloak with the hood drawn well down below where their eye level should be, and they're just kind of facing your guys' direction.
Okay.
Now, in addition to that, you get a good sight of the room, and pretty much you see anything substantial has changed. But Otto does look to you, and he's kind of come out of his little moment there, and Seamus, I can't believe that this is actually happening. There's so much strange doings about. I thought the war was over. I thought chaos was receding. But you've been gone for 5 years. Did you survive the war?
To tell you the truth, I don't really know. Last thing I remember is running through a forest with a noose around my neck.
Did you desert, boy?
I wish I had an answer for you. I don't really know.
I remember you, your brother, and your father being recruited by that fucking witch hunter. He said something about some special assignment. And we never saw any of you or those he recruited ever again. We wrote you off as dead.
Do you have any more information for me about this witch hunter? I don't remember a thing.
You don't remember, boy?
I don't. Last thing
I never got his name.
Yeah, she had a big, wide brim hat.
Yes, that's the one.
Is all this happening within earshot of me?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm hearing this. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, they're not being quiet about this conversation. Anyone can hear you right now.
I still had that weird dagger.
Yes, you would have seen it. You wouldn't have seen the whole thing, so you got the idea that Marius did in fact pocket something kind of strange, and he never said anything to you, but you did see it.
I think he's talking about his.
Yeah.
His sword. Yeah. Oh yeah, you got a good look at that before the attack.
It had a thin blade on it.
Yes.
I'll pull that out and show Otto.
Otto was like, "What is this?" Are you going to let him hold it?
I'll let him hold it.
Okay. He takes it from you, and boy, where did you find this? And he unsheaths it, and he's just like, damn, that looks sharp. And he pushes it back together.
That was on me person.
He'll hand it back to you. I've never seen anything like this. Maybe you should ask the smith. Hugo. You wouldn't know him. Most of the people around here, well, actually, you know what? You would know Hugo. He's a local, so you would know him.
Is Hugo in the same spot usually as he moved?
No, he's set up in the mine. He doesn't leave much these days.
I'll go make my way over there. Hey, by the way, Otto, that figure over there in the corner, bandaged up with the cloak over his head, keeps looking over here.
And Otto kind of looks over. I don't see anyone. And when you look back over, the figure is gone.
What?
Just gone.
I swear there was a man over there in the corner.
All right, boy. All right. I think that's been enough for you today. and he'll just kind of tap you on the shoulder, and he goes to move away. And before he goes, he'll say, Master Marius, a word, please.
Sure.
You approach, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I approach.
Okay. He's going to take you to the side, hopefully where no one can hear you. He's going to be whispering to you. Watch the MacLeod boy. If he is who he says he is, foul sorcery's at work.
I kind of whisper back and like, I'll keep an eye, but the man saved my life. I
don't doubt that.
I owe him something.
You may be comrades in arms, but always be careful with where you place your loyalty, son. And he'll nudge his head over towards Catch.
Mm-hmm.
What's the story on the Yunnan?
He's one of the other survivors of the caravan there. I think they were all headed here, and
Which caravan?
the one with Miss Suna and Abby. I think they were all coming to the same place, all coming to Silberg.
Is he a doctor?
If he is, I don't believe he is. I think we found the doctor.
That must have been the caravan Brandyfoot requested. He sent for a doctor.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think the doctor made it. And I kind of point to the back of her head, and I was just kind of motioning an arrow.
Okay. I understand. Well, if there's no doctor coming, we have little hope of outlasting this. Between the attacks and the things that have been happening in the mine, there's talks of plague.
Plague. And I kind of shudder at the sound of it, or the
He says,
mention of it.
and he says, aye. And then he kind of nods towards the canvas, towards the back of the room.
Mm-hmm.
We've run out of places to put him, son.
Oh, I get a little nervous, a little shaky. I don't care for the plague and sickness. I kind of
Aye,
get
boy.
nervous and stumbly.
All right. It's all right, son. It's all right. Well contained. And, do you want to engage him in anything else?
I kind of look at him and I show him the sword, and I was like, I'm going to buy you a drink, Otto. This thing really saved me. I appreciate it.
No doubt, Master Marius, no doubt. Keep it.
Thank you, Otto. Then I kind of sheathe it and
Okay.
put it back.
It's still rusted and horrible.
I know. I'm trying to think. Is there any Otto? Is there any alcohol I can get? Strong stuff.
Of course. Go to the Thaggies, son.
Not necessarily to drink. I need to prepare if these beastmen are coming back. A little surprise.
He's just kind of... He's not following you.
I plan to make some firebombs.
Ah, okay. The craftiness. Perhaps you talk to Mr. Gold.
All right.
You know Mr. Gold, right?
I remember he had a crate on the caravan with foodstuffs, I believe.
You can't forget that scumbag.
Yeah, he's a little shady.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Be careful
Okay.
when you speak to him, but I'm sure he has anything you might need.
All right.
And
Then
with
I
that,
guess-
he's
okay.
going to start walking away.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much all I wanted.
All right. Mr. Catch, is there anything you'd like to do?
I like to get a drink.
Okay. You are... Yeah, you got a head wound. It's bandaged up at least. Are you going to
Alcohol
attempt to
cures
leave?
concussion. Yeah, alcohol cures concussions. We need to go to a pub and drink and sleep off his concussion.
Okay.
Yeah, basically at this point, I just want to get some food and rest.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
That's fair
and
enough.
I'm inviting the guys with me. Like, we have a lot to discuss.
Yes, indeed.
Aye. Sounds like it. Seamus, you coming?
Aye. Anytime there's a drink, you can count me there.
Okay. So are you guys all getting up to leave?
Yeah, I guess we're just getting out the way.
Okay. Sarah's going to
are
run
you?
back. What? You possibly can't leave.
Look, clearly the one with the head wound is making the decisions here, and they're following him. So I think we know better, lady.
And she'll grab a hold of Marius's hand. Marius, these men need rest.
We can get a rest at the Thaggy. Give her
You
a
better
wink.
make a charm roll.
All right, let's do this.
Hooray for bad decisions.
Let's see what my charm is real quick. 1 sec. All right. Here we go. Straight roll or
Because
normal,
it's
or
you, you'll get the plus 20.
plus 20. All right. All right. That's 36. However, I have the attractive perk.
You do.
So I
and she
can
is certainly
choose-
attracted to you.
So I'm going to choose to use the 6 as my degree of success.
Yes. Okay.
So that's what I have.
All right. So you put a little charm on her. Is there anything you do in particular?
I kind of give her a wink, and just,
All right.
come on, Sarah, a little drink.
And
Can
she'll
only help fortify a man's constitution.
yeah.
and,
she visibly blushes.
Yeah.
She starts turning red, and she kind of.
I look at her. And I say, "You can punish me later." And then I kind of turn around and start heading off.
You hear like a small little like "Ah," as you walk off. Oh,
Yeah, crushed it.
what an interesting time we live in.
Nice one,
Yes.
bro.
Thanks, bro.
Okay. So, you guys are walking out of the the makeshift hospital. You're bandaged at this point. Some of your wounds have been slightly healed. You make it to the door. You press the doors open. Who's in the lead?
I guess
I
I would
feel
be
like
since I know the
The area? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, Marius, you push open the doors. As soon as you push open the doors, there's actually someone kind of hurriedly walking your way, almost like power walking. Kind of a short, pompous man. He's very formally dressed. He's wearing like a silver doublet. He has dark eyes, dark hair. He's got a hooked nose. You recognize him as Kurt Krieger.
Kurt Krieger.
And he works for the governor.
Okay.
And he's locked eyes with you, and he's making a beeline straight for you.
For Marius.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I know of him or do I know him?
You know of him. You've never met him.
Okay.
Formally.
Okay. He works for the governor or mayor?
He works for the for the governor.
For governor. Okay.
Same. If I say mayor, I'm talking about the same person.
Okay. Town leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I kind of look at him and kind of think to myself, oh boy.
He covers the ground. He approaches you. Are you the new refugees?
I kind of look at him and I was like, I've kind of lived here for a little bit, past month or so.
Clearly. And he kind of turns his nose up at you.
All right.
The governor, Airfreeze, humbly requests the presence of these, and he's looking over Seamus and Catch, and he's much shorter than all of you. The degenerates that have just entered our town and brought back Mrs. Glasner.
All right. I guess the Thaggy will have to wait.
No. Ale cures wounds.
And he will just start walking towards the governor's house.
Okay. I kind of look back before I kind of fall after him and yell back at Sarah and say, or not yell, but loudly say, "Take care of Miss Suna, please, Miss Sarah."
And she
the girl
kind
Abby
of
too.
Yeah, she nods her head. And as the doors are closing.
All right.
And
little guy.
Seamus, as you guys are walking over, I'm assuming you guys are all following?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reluctantly.
Yeah. Seamus, you see the figure. As you're approaching, you see the same figure wrapped in all of the bandages and the hood. It's a darker hood, black almost, pulled down low, and it's looking at you from around the corner of the temple, from where you're leaving. But you notice it. You notice that at the side of your eyes. And you make eye contact, and it kind of freezes.
I will continue walking, but not break eye contact with it.
Okay. As you continue walking, that's where we're going to wrap up for the day.
All right. Woo!
Had some
Another session survived, fellas.
some political intrigue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too much combat this time around, but we'll make up for it next session.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
I did lots of running.
Yes, there was a lot of running.
I ran good.
Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hope everybody's going to come back for another session.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, good. So I'm going to officially wrap us up, just for the channel, guys. As usual, I have been Jumbo Thick. Thank you so much, all the viewers out here. This is our own personal game, but we thought it'd be fun to share it with everyone, especially, all of you people that have supported me for so long at this point. Hopefully you find the story interesting. And I would like to personally thank my players today for participating in this. I can't have a game without players. And you guys have been doing awesome. And I'm liking the role-playing. Even if I break character, you break character. My accent goes in and out. So on and so forth. So we're all learning. It'll be all right.
And
Do check out Sean, his channel, and the Southern Fried Geekery podcast if you get a chance. He's running those. I know he puts a lot of effort into it, just about as much as I put it into my channel. So definitely check him out if you get the chance. And that is going to be it, guys. I have been Jumbo Thick. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. Have a good day.